Is being broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. The Zoom link is in the agenda. This meeting will be broadcast live through local cable access channel and on the Public Access Facebook page, and will be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. The first thing we got to do is we're going to do Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to go into executive session. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to enter executive session?
Second.
All right. Let's go. Oh, do we all vote?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Aye.
Good. Aye.
Have to re-enter, you just say
We're back.
We're going to go back into regular session now. Before we get started, I just want to say, George, I'm really grateful you came back. Thank you.
We didn't scare you
I
away.
hope you enjoyed Hawaii.
I did.
Nice.
The next thing on the agenda is we have public comment on prior issues. Is anybody here for public comment? Anybody online for public comment? All right. Next thing is chair's report. I have no chair's report other than to say that I thought homecoming was, as always, a unique, corny, and really fun day. I'm grateful for all the work that Don Guerin put in. I'm grateful for all the work that the volunteers put in. The floats were amazing, and I am glad we do it. And I am glad that you came.
So
Did you have fun?
It was the best time. I can't wait until next year.
Were the floats what you were expecting?
The floats, no. They so surpassed any expectations that I could have had.
Every year,
Yeah.
We have so many talented students who really put, and teachers who are wonderful and really facilitate the whole process as well, but
Yeah.
it is really great.
who won?
Seniors with Brazil. Tony's a little disgruntled about it.
Yeah?
Tony's a little disgruntled.
Yeah. we should.
Christ,
Well, just
Redeemer.
class of 33, you all better get ready, because Mandy and Julia Callahan are going to form a townie Voltron. All right.
We'll have to get our boys interested.
Yeah, well, whatever, that's fine. Okay, student representative is not here, so we are going to go to review and approve minutes. It's the September 17th and October 1st sessions. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from those two meetings?
Yes.
And does anybody have any questions about the minutes for those two meetings? And if no questions, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from those two meetings.
Motion to approve the minutes from 9/17/25 and 10/1/25.
Is there a second?
I second. Oh,
All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
yes.
All right. The review and approve line item transfers, warrants, and donations. Chris McNamara, come on down.
Which are we going to do first?
We have a bunch of stuff to sign, everybody, so just be prepared.
We have lots of donations.
Wait, no.
Good evening. There's two transfers for you tonight. The first one is for, we're transfer. The first one, we'll be transferring $13,500 from admin tech contracted services for website services that will no longer be using to school committee dues, and this is to cover our superintendent search service invoice.
Okay.
Why is this FY26 when it's for services rendered in FY25?
We
So-
actually are going to have to bring that up at town meeting because it is an FY25 expense we're paying with FY26 funds,
Yeah.
Why do we have to bring that up at town meeting?
because the town manager told me we do.
Why can't, I'm just confused why it's not being charged.
Because we've closed the books on FY25, we filed our end-of-the-year report with the state already.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, that's a good answer why. Yeah, that was due. Okay, nope, that was my only question, was why are we, because I thought that was going to be an FY25 expense, and now we have to carry it in. So are we going to try and move it to FY25, or just,
No.
that's what's happening?
That's what's happening.
Okay.
And the money we were using, or we thought we were going to use a website design service, and that's the contract that we're no longer using. So that's the money we're taking the superintendent search out of.
Did the invoice not come in?
It came in late.
Because okay. It came in late. That's frustrating.
That is frustrating.
But there's nothing we can do. Okay. And the other one?
Yep, there's one more. We'll be transferring $2,000 from the primary school science supply line item to the primary school reading supply line item. And this is to cover the magnetic letter tiles and Teal Haggerty costs.
What's Teal Haggerty?
I'm assuming it's Hegarty?
Hegarty, yeah.
Yes.
Hegarty, sorry.
Hegarty is a phonemic awareness program that helps students as they begin their early reading journey.
This is more I don't know. All right. Do we need to take a vote on the line item transfers?
I move to accept both line item transfers presented by Mr. McNamara.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was too late.
Next, the warrant items.
Uh,
Do we have any of those?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You sign those.
Oh, yeah, all
We
right.
don't vote on that.
Then I just signed the ones. Do we want to go through those?
If you want.
We don't typically.
Yeah,
We don't typically.
all right. And then donations.
Donations. We have 4 donations this evening. The first is from Laura Baruchian. She is donating, sorry, it's hard for me to find the number here.
$100.
$100, thank you, for the high school field trip. So that would go into the high school's field trip account. Do you want to take them all at once?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The second is from the Music Aiders in the amount of $500 for the high school music program. The third is from the Music Aiders for $500 for the middle school music program. And the fourth is $500 for the Turkey Hill Music Department.
So this was very generous of Laura because she also she's donating her own money and tirelessly fundraises for the band.
Yes.
At all levels. So I wanted to say thank you very much. That's incredibly generous. And she has been a fantastic advocate for the music program.
While she's doing all that, she's still going to float and organizing kids at float. and
Did she
doing-
really?
Yes, that lady is incredible. She is just kind and determined and smart and hardworking, and it's just she's part of the long list of amazing people I've met since I moved to Lunenburg 3 years ago. So, do we want to take a vote on the donations?
Motion to accept the 4 donations as outlined above with our appreciation.
All right. All, second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. All right. So I'm going to sign these and then send them down. Everybody has to sign them and send them back. All right. Probably should have signed this while everybody was
Do you want me
talking.
to start my report, Tony?
Yes, thank you.
Superintendent.
All right. It feels like forever since I've seen you, so this report felt long writing it. But we'll start with district highlights and celebrations. This section of the report is dedicated to celebrating the incredible energy, exceptional excellence, and vibrant community spirit that our students, athletes, and staff brought to the field, court, and community this past fall season. These achievements truly highlight what makes our district so special. The annual homecoming celebration was truly a community masterpiece this year, a resounding success that perfectly captured the inclusive spirit that defines Lunenburg. The pep rally brought the house down with competitive class spirit and fun, especially seeing our staff jump into the inflatables race. The homecoming parade remains a cherished tradition, and the sheer dedication from our students, advisors, and parents led to some of the most creative and awe-inspiring, and I mean awe-inspiring, float designs I've ever seen. The day was capped off by a decisive football team victory over Littleton and a touching ceremony honoring our senior players and their families. Congratulations again to the senior class for their triumphant Brazil float, and I owe a huge debt of gratitude to Don Guerin for coordinating this defining and heartwarming community event. I couldn't be prouder of the football team for their incredible season. They finished with a stellar 6-2 record and earned the well-deserved title of Midland Wachusett E-League champions. What really stands out, however, is their commendable spirit and dedication, and I hope you saw their donation to the food pantry on social media that they gathered from the homecoming game. So thank you to the community that supported that and the team for helping to organize that. The field hockey team delivered a truly historic performance this year by completing an undefeated regular season. Their exceptional skill and teamwork have been thrilling to watch. I'm excited to report they have already secured their first postseason win and are moving forward in the playoffs. This team, powered by a dedicated group of seniors, continues to represent our school beautifully with their determination and outstanding sportsmanship. Our girls' soccer program put together a highly competitive and exciting season. The athletes showed exceptional skill, cohesion, and teamwork, and their strong performance rightfully earned them a spot in the postseason tournament. I wish them the very best as they kick off their first tournament game tonight. So I hope they're doing well. The Unified Basketball program started. It's consistently one of the biggest highlights of our year and a profound source of pride for the entire district. This team truly embodies the best of youth sports. They started the season with immediate fireworks, securing a dramatic 1-point victory over Marlboro in a true nail-biter. The pure joy radiating from our athletes and the overwhelming support from the fan base powerfully underscore our deep commitment to inclusion and collaboration. As I reflect on an outstanding and inspiring fall season, I look forward with great anticipation to what the winter season has in store for our community. I'm confident that our students will continue to demonstrate the same level of commitment, sportsmanship, and excellence on the courts, on the ice, and during their winter performances. The spirit of our community will bring many more opportunities to celebrate our students, both for their scholarship and athletic feats. For teaching and learning, there was a literacy night for the Turkey Hill Elementary students and primary students hosted at the primary school. I know Laura and Mandy were there. It was wonderful to see you. I am thrilled to report on the wonderful success of the recent Literacy Night event, co-hosted for the families of the Turkey Hill Elementary School and the primary school. The evening was a vibrant demonstration of our commitment to fostering strong homeschool connections and making literacy both engaging and accessible. The night achieved its goal of encouraging family involvement through a variety of fun, hands-on activities. Our students and their families had fantastic opportunities to connect while playing engaging literacy games, expressing creativity through a bookmark decorating station, and learning about valuable resources available to them. A key element of the evening was the strong partnership and information sharing. Families were able to learn more about the critical support provided by our Title I program and discover the many wonderful resources offered by the Lunenburg Public Library. It was also a pleasure to introduce and welcome Ms. Jocelyn, Lunenburg's new and enthusiastic children's librarian, who quickly connected with our students and parents. The event was truly a collaborative effort, reinforcing that literacy development is a shared journey between our schools and our community partners. A huge thank you to our curriculum department and volunteers for putting this event together. Yesterday, as you all know, we had a professional development day. Our commitment to continuous professional growth remains a priority, ensuring our educators are equipped with the most current instructional best practices. Turkey Hill Elementary is actively focusing on the adoption and implementation of the Open SciEd curriculum, representing a significant step in enhancing science education through inquiry-based learning and phenomena-driven instruction. The initiative will empower students to think and act like scientists as they explore the world around them. Across the elementary level, crucial training was provided to necessary staff. At the primary school, the designated staff participated in Crisis Prevention Institute training, focusing on essential de-escalation strategies and safety protocols. Furthermore, a significant portion of the primary school's November 4th Professional Development Day was dedicated to literacy training, specifically focusing on the 4-part processor reading brain and integrating the science of reading principles into our reading curriculum. Pre-K teachers and paraprofessionals also engaged in dedicated sessions on literacy practice. At LMHS, the focus shifted to forward-looking curriculum work and safety. Both the middle school and high school staff participated in ALICE training, as did the primary staff, reinforcing essential safety and response protocols for critical incidents. A major theme of the day was the exploration of artificial intelligence integration into instruction. Middle school staff and interested high school staff engaged in sessions on using AI to streamline unit planning for our scope and sequence curriculum for NEASC, specifically using tools like Google Gemini. High school teachers dedicated the afternoon to focused departmental curriculum work. Additionally, our physical education and health department attended the MAPHERD conference, that's their association, while our music and performing arts department engaged in specialized training at Groton Hill. These focused professional learning efforts ensure a high-quality, research-based educational experience for all students across our district, from primary grades through high school. Tonight, we discussed entering into a contract with Dr. Kimberly Sarfidi. Kimberly will be coming from an assistant superintendent position to our director of curriculum and instruction position. She is very inspired by the work that we're doing in the district around literacy. Literacy is her passion, especially early literacy. And teachers can expect to see her in their classroom working side by side with them as we work to lift our teaching practice. Spotlight on excellence. I have seen such strong teaching and learning across our schools, and it is a real pleasure to recognize these masterful instructional moves. So the first class that I want to shine the spotlight on is Andrew Cantatori's Honors Algebra 2 class. In his Algebra 2 class, I recently saw the principle that joy makes rigor possible. Students were tackling a complex problem, not with stress, but with palpable happiness and genuine camaraderie. Mr. Cantatori cultivates an environment where students feel safe to risk being wrong, actively welcoming all perspectives and lifting each other up through high-level academic conversation. This is where high expectations meet high engagement. Brian Chartrand's 5th grade math class. The high energy and cognitive engagement in his class immediately impressed. His dedication to student agency was on full display when he helped a student correct a mistake. Rather than offering a quick fix, he simply handed the student his own work and asked them to check it, beautifully fostering independent discovery and resilience. This approach is complemented by strong, differentiated small group support. A sincere thank you to Heather Whitham for demonstrating the power of hands-on project-based learning in her 5th grade ELA class. While students were designing scarecrows, the true learning was in their ability to articulate the project's direct link to the central ideas of their reading. Heather's trust allows students to independently collaborate and problem solve, building essential skills like psychological safety and generosity. And finally, there's so much great stuff going on in the district. Carly Guinea, I visited her kindergarten class. My visit to her classroom was a powerful reminder of how integrating behavior, literacy, and social emotional learning leads to exceptional outcomes. Carly utilizes mastery and proactive behavior management and goes beyond decoding by intentionally linking CVC words with vocabulary to meaning and tangible connections. Most impactfully, when a student struggled, she invited the entire class to collaboratively support and uplift him, embodying our community theme of lifting each other. Thank you to Mr. Cantatori, Mr. Chartrand, Ms. Whitham, and Ms. Guinea for providing such powerful models, and thank you to all of our teachers who are working daily to strike this essential balance. Our goal isn't to lessen the challenge, it's to increase the joy and sense of purpose that allows our students to achieve it. Our finance update, year-to-date spending update, I'm pleased to report that the district remains fiscally healthy and on track with its spending projections. Currently, our budget is 34.9% spent out, which aligns with our anticipated spending schedule for this period. We are monitoring all line items closely to ensure continued responsible management of district funds. You have the complete year-to-date budget report in your packet, and Mr. McNamara, our business administrator, is present and available to address any detailed questions regarding the budget.
CVC words. Consonant.
It's a vowel consonant.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
I like that
for the jargon.
No, that's all right.
Just define it after, because then we all learn.
Yes. Yeah.
You're still teaching.
Yes. Staff feedback at the 8-week mark. So I did a staff survey to gauge feedback on my communication and visibility in schools. As you know, those are two things that were very important to me coming in. So quantitative metrics across all areas on the survey, from clarity of vision to approachability during visits, range from a high of 4.8 out of 5 to 4.5 out of 5, validating the positive shift in central office engagement. Staff feedback provides strong affirmation of the communication strategies. Key quantitative findings, including a 4.8 out of 5 for professionalism and engagement of style, suggest that messaging is clearly understood and is actively fostering a respectful environment. Qualitatively, the single most impactful communication tool cited was the consistent use of staff shoutouts and celebratory updates. Staff noted this focus on appreciation shows positivity, kindness, gratitude, and respect, demonstrating that our commitment to cultivating a positive culture is resonating deeply across the district. For visibility and approachability, the data validates that our shift toward high physical presence is having the desired effect. Scores, including 4.7 out of 5 for approachability during school visits, confirm that the new leadership style is increasing staff comfort and confidence. Qualitative feedback highlights a significant positive shift compared to prior to my arrival, with reoccurring themes of a calm presence, feeling safe, and a perception that the administration is genuinely listening and actually cares. Crucially, staff also noted that increased visibility has a positive impact on the student body, making the students feel more seen as well. However, there are two areas of continuous improvement for me. One is fiscal transparency. Staff requested greater clarity and transparency with the district budget, indicating a need for more detailed, frequent communication regarding financials to foster a deeper understanding of management decisions. So I'll start including that in my weekly update and to staffs. And targeted visibility, a need was expressed to ensure that the increased visibility is specifically extended to the often overlooked specialist departments, including unified arts, special education, and related service providers, and to deepen connections with these crucial non-traditional roles. And last but not least, we are going to have a school committee workshop on November 12th, which was a previously scheduled tri-board meeting. So we should have the date. In lieu of the previously scheduled tri-board meeting, the chair and I have discussed and have decided to hold a dedicated school committee workshop. This session will focus entirely on the crucial work of developing our committee's foundational operating norms and expectations. We believe this strategic pause will significantly strengthen our collaboration and effectiveness in the months ahead. We are delighted to have Dr. Grace Way Wisman facilitate this workshop, which will begin promptly at 7 p.m. We look forward to a productive and collaborative evening with all of you.
This is also known as budget season's coming. Get ready. I said this meeting is also known as budget season is coming. Get ready.
Okay.
All right.
Why are we not having a tri-board meeting? Should I?
It got messed up and things got rescheduled, and we were going to have one, and it was going to be a presentation largely of the school budget.
Yeah.
And there were issues that we had to iron out beforehand, and
Okay.
And I
Then I
believe
got
the
bumped.
town manager also.
That's
Yes.
November
Time for
12th,
town
you say?
meeting.
That's
Yeah.
next
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Next Wednesday?
Okay. And then we have a school committee meeting the following Wednesday after
Yes.
that.
And the
That's right.
tri-board
Travel.
meeting, keep going with our November, Wednesday commitments, will most likely be scheduled for the Monday or Tuesday of Thanksgiving week.
yes.
Okay, I have other meetings. When will we know when the tri-board meeting will be rescheduled for?
The town
That was 3 days
is
before.
currently working through some
I'm kidding, I'm
things.
kidding.
And we need to make sure that they're ready to continue the process.
Okay, and the next one scheduled will be our,
It will be our budget.
Okay.
Chris, are you ready?
because I'd like to be there. But sometimes it takes time to arrange childcare and who needs to be where when.
Understood.
Okay, can I ask some questions?
Yes.
Number one, I want to say thank you for the staff shout-outs. I think that's fantastic. I personally love hearing what the teachers are doing and what you're seeing, and I know the staff, I've heard good things about the highlights, and I'm really impressed with that. Thank you. And Mrs. Witham, her project-based learning, we are, I don't want to say survivor, but we've gone through that, and I really, really appreciate the effectiveness of her project-based learning, and her courage with letting the kids go crazy with craft supplies and a glue gun, and they learn a surprising amount. There is still a model of Bunker Hill in my house because my daughter won't let me get rid of it, and it was absolutely fantastic. So thank you for that, and congratulations to our Spotlight teachers. Can I ask about the AI learning for the PD Day? What was that about?
So one of the things that Siri doesn't understand. One of the things that we're realizing
How ironic.
as a district is that we need to embrace AI. It's not going anywhere. We need to be able to use it responsibly as adults and to be able to teach our students how to use it responsibly. So this was the continuation of a workshop that happened on our first professional development day, where teachers were introduced to different AI platforms that they could use and what they could do. And they went back and they tried out some things, and this workshop was on how they're currently using it in their classroom and best practices that they're developing. And this will all lead to us eventually being able to work in policy to develop a responsible AI policy usage. But we're kind of sandboxing it right now so that teachers have experience with it and students have some experience with it in a controlled environment.
Okay. How are we currently using it to streamline unit planning for scope and sequence curriculum?
This was wonderful. Lynn Radford took what she learned from the first workshop day and really used it to cull different curriculum items. And instead of having to worry so much about the NEASC format or what the format was, she ran it through Google, their Gemini program, and it gave a coherent and a cohesive scope and sequence, thus saving our teachers a lot of time that would be spent on a compliance task to allow them to be able to focus more on the actual work of teaching.
That sounds like a perfect use of AI. Like doing something that's sort of formulaic, that is not critical to your job, and you just send it through, check it over, and move on.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Yep, that was all mine.
All right.
Thank you for your enthusiasm about homecoming. As a townie, I love homecoming.
It was so great.
Yeah, I love that tradition. It's like, we're so lucky we have that.
I know,
And
right?
it's hard to explain float to people who don't get it. Like,
It takes a lot of parents and a lot of teachers who really put a lot of effort into it as well. The students love it, but I just think it's so wonderful that so many people participate in it, and, you know.
like you're standing there and then the Coliseum.
Comes down the road.
There's a man in a toga driving a tractor.
Yeah.
And a Coliseum comes into view. It was,
With all of the juniors' faces sitting in the Coliseum.
In the Coliseum, yeah.
I missed that
Yes.
detail.
Yeah.
Did you notice that on the sophomores, the cherry blossom tree had a dedication to one of the classmates that had passed away from leukemia in second grade? And the kids insisted it be on there.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, super sad, but very, very touching.
That was very sweet.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
Good kids.
All right, let's move on to new business. And the first thing on new business is the James J. Larkin Scholarship.
So you have two things in the scholarship folder in your packet. You have the Larkin Scholarship proposal, and then Lunenburg Historical Society had approached us about creating a scholarship, and this really outlines the process, and this will play into a discussion that we have later, really outlines the process that we go through to award scholarships and what has to happen. And you can use that side by side. Shall I read the Larkin Scholarship out loud?
I think it's good marketing for what a scholarship can do for not that much money to memorialize someone. Hint, hint.
I opened the wrong document.
Yeah, I looked through the documents, and it seems like it's wonderful for them to propose this, and I also thought the document about what, how to go about it was really helpful with the step-by-step instructions, if anyone wants to have a future, scholarship program.
Yeah, so you'll see that this scholarship meets all of our requirements and all of the legal requirements for starting a scholarship, and it will be awarded. It's classified as a gift, and it will be expended and approved by the school committee, which is what we're doing tonight. It's in the amount of $250. This year, one winner will receive $500 in the spring, and then it will continue with $250 thereafter.
And for people who don't know or don't have a senior, we have a scholarship or an awards night at the end of the school year, right before graduation, where people come and present scholarships, and there's a number of them in honor of, some of them not, but most of them in honor of someone has been established, and people get up, and some of them are really great. There was one from the 1930s about a woman, and it's a really great way to keep a loved one's memory alive while doing something good for the next generation. So it's sweet, and I think this is a great idea.
Does anybody have any questions about the James J. Larkin Scholarship? All right, and then I'll be looking for a motion to approve the scholarship.
So moved. I move to accept the Larkin Scholarship.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to ask if we can take the next two things out of order, because the Trust Commission information is essentially related to scholarships, and then we'll do the policy. Does anybody mind if we do that?
No.
Okay, so on Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning, which was a little difficult because it was daylight saving, I arrived on time, and I met with the commissioner of the trust commissioner for the town of Lunenburg, and information that he had provided me gave me some insights about the potential for some other funds to be out there for purposes of providing scholarships to Lunenburg students. And so I'm going to give you a high level overview, and then we'll talk about specifics. So when a person makes the town a beneficiary of a trust, as opposed to making a donation, the trust will give money to the town for the designated trust purpose. Over time, the money can accrue interest and be expended in a manner consistent with the trust purpose. However, because this town is old and because we live in New England, some of the trusts that have been created to benefit the town are very old. And some of the trusts have trust purposes that are impossible. And so what the trust commissioner is hoping to do is to gather information about all of the trusts that are having the town as beneficiaries, and then bring them to the Attorney General of the state of New Hampshire, or state of Massachusetts. And they can use an administrative process to apply what's called the Cypre Doctrine, which is a legal doctrine that allows officials to modify trust purposes consistent with the original intent, but allowing them to be updated to meet modern needs. And so the trust commissioner's example was he had found information in records for the town that there was a sidewalk trust set up in 1903, and the trust purpose was to repair and maintain the wooden sidewalks of the town of Lunenburg. Because the trust was so old, and because we have not had wooden sidewalks in a long time, there was approximately $27,000 just sitting in this trust. But we can't use it as a town because the trust purpose requires it to be expended on wooden sidewalks. So this, as an example, would be a trust where we could go to the Attorney General and have them administratively modify it. It's a much cheaper process than going through probate court. And then the town would be able to access these funds. And so what he wants to do is he wants to gather a list of all of the trusts that benefit the town, including scholarships that benefit the school district, and then figure out if they are orphaned trusts, that is, where the beneficiary is no longer alive and the trust purpose can no longer be accomplished. And if they are, then ask the Attorney General to modify them administratively so that we could then have access to the money. This is, at worst, a little bit of work to find out we have no money, and at best, a little bit of work to find out that we have some money. I will point out that the library underwent this process a while ago, and I believe that they had a trust that was set up with the corpus deposited in the 19th century, and by the time they found it, I think it was over $50,000. So between the library's efforts in finding that money and the trust commissioner finding the wooden sidewalk one as an example, I think it's worth our time to authorize the superintendent to gather this information and provide it to the trust commissioner. And then, if necessary, if he finds funds that we can use and the AG agrees to administratively alter their trust purpose, to create a subcommittee to dispense the funds that would be found in these trusts. That would, if it's given to the town, it's a trust. If it's given to us, it would be a scholarship. So that's what we talked about. And given that we just talked about a trust and a scholarship with the Historical Society, I thought it would be helpful to stitch these two things together. So it's not an action item, but I wanted to put this on everybody's radar. We'll probably ask for an action item later if we need one. I don't think we need one to have the superintendent look through, but if we find stuff and we do want to, if there's money to make it worthwhile, then we may go out and ask for alteration. We'll probably have to come back. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Have you run this by our lawyer?
Not yet.
Because there's a difference between the town money, which the trust funds commissioner oversees, and school money, which the trust fund commissioner has no authority over.
Correct. That's why he asked us.
And I'm curious, down below it says scholarship committee could handle, did you write this information? Scholarship could handle DESI grants?
There are
And donations?
some DESI grants that would fall into the scholarship committee's purview
Such
per
as?
statute. We don't have any right now,
Yeah,
so I don't know what they would be.
Grants come to the school committee, not us.
yeah.
It seems an unnecessary,
I would be very concerned about we do have a scholarship committee.
Okay, perfect.
I would
We already got that done.
very hesitant to have the scholarship committee in charge
handle
of
DESI grants.
handle DESI
Yeah, yeah.
grants.
I think that the only reason that notation was there is because there is the possibility under statute, but I don't think we have any of these.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like many things in Massachusetts left over from 100 years ago,
Most likely.
which is what all these scholarships would be too. So like,
so I think if funds that belong to the school department are uncovered, we should look.
these
into-
funds do not belong to the school department. They belong to the trust. So the trust would be the owner of the funds,
I-
and we would be the beneficiaries.
Okay, we might want to talk to the town lawyer.
Yeah. The town lawyer has said that we need to handle this part on our own. This stuff that's within the purview of the school district. So we'd ask
But if
our
they're town
lawyer.
funds, they're under the,
It would be done differently if this school is named as the beneficiary. The problem is, we don't own any of this. We're just getting benefits from it.
So in a very rudimentary, to make sure I understand this, the trust money is not money that it currently the town has.
Correct.
It's held in a trust fund somewhere.
Yes.
That has its own legal structure of how to distribute that money, or they may already have a legal structure set up. They're supposed to be at certain intervals.
Yes.
Doing that. It may have gotten lost at some point. It may be someone who passed away. It may be that the trust
Perfect.
governing body is not,
The trustee no longer exists.
the trustee no longer exists. Okay,
Yeah.
so, but the money is out there, sort of like the lost property kind of. It's
Exactly.
just sitting
That
out
is
there.
exactly right, except it is not money that belongs to us. It belongs
Right,
to
it
the
belongs
trust.
to the trust, so
We
it's
would
not
just
in
be
our
the
bank
beneficiary.
accounts.
Correct.
Exactly, it's just money that.
Correct.
We're giving him permission, which we
Or-
haven't voted on, we're just
No, no, no,
talking about.
We're talking about it.
Right, is we would be allowing the commissioner of trusts, whatever the trust commissioner, to look for this money.
Yep.
And let us know it's out there and
Yep.
exists.
And, you know, the trust commissioner's guess was it was somewhere between 15 and 16 scholarships, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just a guess. And it's based on the age of certain things and the number, like, there's ones for the cemetery, there's ones for the roads, there's ones for the sidewalks.
Right.
There was one in the town of Winchendon that the town attorney knew, where it was for the maintenance of horse troughs. So like, there are so many of these because the state of Massachusetts is so old.
Right,
that it's
nobody
just-
keeps track of
And no
that.
one keeps, and because they're not town property.
Right, and there's no sort of depository of this information
No.
statewide.
No.
When you
just have to
create a
gather-
trust, you don't have to record it anywhere.
There are some trusts you do, but not necessarily these, and not necessarily at the time they were founded.
Okay, sorry, am I on a
Yeah.
wild goose chase? I'm just trying to understand this.
Yeah, so like, it could be that they would have to register them now, but.
But yeah, in
If you-
200 years ago, they may not have. had to.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
I mean, it sounds fine to me then. It sounds like we're just
Checking to see if we got it. This
checking
is
the
like,
couch cushions.
exactly.
to see
We're
if-
looking at the couch cushion.
And we have a person who's willing to help us look in the couch cushions? Is
They're going to do all the work. We're just going to say, here's what we have.
Yeah.
I think I might like to change that up.
Sure.
A little, where we do the legwork and we look at our scholarships that we have, and if we find anything,
Sure.
we bring it back to this committee, because they are under your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
They're not under the Board of Trustees jurisdiction. So I'd like to make a friendly amendment to the process.
Okay, that seems fine to me.
Yeah,
Do we know who's going to do that?
Yes.
Is she over there?
No.
Okay. I just feel like we always have these like weird special projects and,
This one is one I might do myself.
okay, that's good. This is not going to be, I don't think this is things you look up on the internet.
No.
You have to go to some dusty boxes somewhere.
Yeah.
So, all right.
okay.
You're welcome.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the first read of policies regarding advertising in school, cash handling, and middle school pathways competency, and then one for competency determination. So what we typically do is we go as a board and we take turns reading these until we're done. And then I think we're going to change up what we normally do, because normally we have 3 readings and we waive the second reading every time. So we're just going to do 2 readings. We'll do one now, and we'll put it out on the public. Public can make comments, and we'll do one sometime down the road and adopt them after that. All right, so we should have the,
A procedural question?
Sure.
A place that all these policies are that are approved, are they on the school committee's
Yes.
website? Okay. So that in the future, once these are just draft versions.
Yep.
People could comment in the future.
Yeah, if you go to the website, I believe we have lists, you can find all the policies there, but generally at the very top, it says policies under review, and it says which read we're on.
Okay, that's excellent. Just for the public too, to understand how this works.
And that is a project Liz is working very diligently on, is getting all of our policies up online.
Excellent, thank you, Liz.
all right. And so I'll read the first one up, which is the revised advertising in schools. We did talk about this at the previously constituted school committee, and this is an effort to get some additional revenue. We talked about this before, just for the edification of everybody that's here now. My understanding is that like some high schools, like I think St. Bernard's does this. My dad is on St. Bernard's School Committee, and I think they get somewhere between like $5,000 and $10,000. It's not a ton of money, but it's like basically found money. Again, rifling through the couch cushions. The other thing before we read this policy, I just want to say that Amy King was really instrumental in giving us feedback on the original revised version. So somebody has already provided some feedback and we've altered things. And then the final thing I would say before reading this, there is a statute that governs advertising in schools, and so this policy was written in conformity with that statute. So the superintendent or their designee is empowered to solicit advertisements for property, real or otherwise, of the school district. This includes athletic fields, gymnasiums, digital property of the school, and any other means of monetizing school district property to generate ad revenue for the school. Ads shall not be placed in classrooms, the library, administrative offices, or any other area primarily used for instruction except for gymnasiums. The superintendent or their designee shall set reasonable rates for such advertisement as they see fit. The following shall be barred from advertising on school property. 1, any entity for profit or otherwise barred from advertising by state or federal law or regulation or school committee or school policy. And 2, any entity for profit or otherwise that generates income, however derived, from the monetization or sale of alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, gambling services, fantasy sports services, pornography, or firearms. The superintendent or their designee shall have final approval over the appearance and placement of all advertisements. Their decision about the advertisements, somebody's moving around. Their decision about advertisements, their appearance, and their placement are final and made with their sole discretion. The distribution of notices or advertisements by non-district affiliated groups are prohibited. Notices are permitted at designated locations in the school office if such organizations are consistent with school committee policy and with prior approval of the superintendent or their designee. Surveys, questionnaires, or similar documents which solicit and collect personal information of students or families for marketing purposes are prohibited. I don't know why there's a comma after for marketing purposes. So if I was going to alter this, I would just delete
I think it's
that.
because which solicit and prohibit the person. No, you're right. That's not a clause. Okay.
Do we think we take that comma out? Where's our English teachers?
We can take the, I know, I'm not the English teacher. Oh, this is more a lawyer thing.
Ms. Callahan's going to get mad at me. Surveys, questionnaire, okay. All right. Okay. That's the first reading of that policy. This is, and I forgot to do this, this is Community Relations 1000, Gifts and Solicitations 1300, Advertising, Sponsorships, and Fundraising 1303, Advertising in the Schools 1303.1. All right. So Laura, you're next.
Middle school pathway exploration policy. Is that the one we're on?
That's fine.
Okay. Students in instruction, 5,000. Instructional program, 5,200. Organization of instruction, 5,201. Middle school pathways, 5,201.03. Middle school pathway exploration policy. Policy overview. The Lunenburg Public School District is committed to ensuring that all middle school students and their families are well informed about the wide range of high school educational opportunities available to them, including career and technical education, CTE, and vocational programs. In compliance with Massachusetts State Regulations 603 CMR 4 and guidance from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, this policy outlines how our district provides students with awareness and exposure to CTE and vocational opportunities at local, regional, and agricultural public high schools. High school pathway options. The following CTE school is available to students: Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School, located at 1050 Westminster Street, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. And then there is a link which identifies all of the current vocational programs, 23, offered at Montechusett Vocational Technical School that may connect to students' secondary and post-secondary academic and career planning. Career exploration for middle school students. Lunenburg School District continues to partner with Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School in several ways to ensure that all students have a deep understanding of the educational options available to them. The district provides guidance classes to all grade 8 students where career paths and opportunities are discussed. This process guides students as they research high school pathways and make informed decisions about which school environment, whether a traditional high school or a specialized CTE program or vocational program, best aligns with their emerging goals. The district's implementation of My Career and Academic Plan, started in 2026, directly connects the exploration of CTE schools and programs to a student's broader academic and career goals. MyCap is a structured process that helps students explore their interests, skills, and values starting in middle school. This self-discovery process guides students as they research high school pathways and make informed decisions about which school environment, whether a traditional high school or specialized CTE program or vocational program, best aligns with their emerging goals. Lunenburg Middle School has a healthy and long-lasting relationship with Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. LMS guidance and the admissions counselor have consistent, effective communication and offer a variety of activities to introduce LMS students to the opportunities that Monty Tech provides. The LMS counselor attends our annual meeting at Monty Tech in order to gain any new information regarding the admissions process and programs offered. The LMS counselor is then able to relay this information to LMS students and parents. Information is sent out through the LMHS Principal's weekly email. Grade 8 students attend Monty Tech Tour Day in the early fall. Tour Day is coordinated by LMS guidance counselor and the Monty Tech admissions counselor. Tour Day takes place during school hours, and Monty Tech provides busing to and from LMS. On Tour Day, students learn important information about the school and are able to see a number of vocational opportunities that are offered. The tour is made available to all 8th grade students interested. Students are also made aware of when Monty Tech is holding their open house, and this is another opportunity for students to tour the school. Monty Tech sends a representative twice annually to LMS during lunch for both 7th and 8th grade students and provides LMS students with the information on the school in the application process. LMS students are provided the opportunity to participate in the Vocational Interest Program, VIP. VIP is a 4-week after-school program where students are provided transportation by Monty Tech and have the opportunity to try out 4 separate vocational shops over a period of several weeks. The following information outlines how Lunenburg Middle School will actively collaborate with Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School in order to inform students about the CTE vocational opportunities available to them. Information sharing. Annually, Lunenburg will provide Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School with the names, addresses, and email addresses of all enrolled grade 6, 7th, and 8th grade students as required by law. On-campus assemblies. Each fall, all grade 8 students will have the opportunity to attend assemblies on campus at the middle school and hosted by Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. These events will provide students with information about CTE programs in the application process. School tours. Each fall, interested grade 8 students will have the opportunity to tour Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. Transportation expenses will be covered by Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. These tours will be scheduled during the school day and will be considered an excused absence provided by Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School confirms the student's participation in a tour. Okay. Online resources. By October 15th each year, Lunenburg District website will publish pertinent information about vocational school options, including links to admission applications, admission policies, and open house informational events and assembly schedules. Providing admissions records to Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. Lunenburg Middle School will provide relevant information to Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School for students who have applied. This may include documentation of student attendance records and discipline records in accordance with the vocational school's approved admissions policy and DESE guidance. Maintenance of records. Lunenburg Middle High School will maintain a record of all on-site presentations, assemblies, and student tours to Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School, along with the other relevant information about collaboration between the district and Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. These records will be made available to DESE upon request. Now I know why we call it Monty Tech for short.
I was going to say, you got the long one.
And this is a required policy by DESI that we were supposed to adopt a month ago.
Okay, I'm doing the next one.
Yes, whichever one you want.
3303.01, cash handling. This is under fiscal management and non-instructional operations, 3,000, accounts 3,300, cash handling 3,303.01. Lunenburg School District shall be a cashless environment by the end of the 2025-2026 school year. With all deliberate speed, the superintendent, her subordinates, and designees shall make all necessary arrangements to convert the district to all cashless transactions. This shall include all purchases made by district employees and all gates for all district events, including sporting events. Gates for events shall use a cashless payment system, and all funds shall be deposited into a single district account. Any district employee engaging in transactions of any kind using cash without prior approval of the superintendent or her designee shall be subject to discipline up to and including termination and repayment of all costs arising out of and/or related to the cash transaction. I got the short one.
Lunenburg competency determination. Students and instruction, 5,000. Instructional program, 5,200. Competency determination, 5204.01. In order to receive a Lunenburg diploma, all students must meet the competency determination for coursework in addition to all local graduation requirements. The CD represents 2 accomplishments, showing a mastery of skills in English language arts, mathematics, science, and beginning with the graduating class of 2027 U.S. history. Lunenburg students will do this by satisfactorily completing a final assessment or a capstone or portfolio project, and the satisfactory completion of relevant coursework aligned to the standards measured by the high school English language arts, mathematics, and science MCAS assessments administered in 2023. Lunenburg students will take and pass or earn full credit for the following courses: English 9, English 10, Algebra 1 or Algebra 2, Geometry, Biology, U.S. History, beginning with the graduating class of 2027. As per the CD law, 10th grade students represent a critical benchmark in students' academic development, ensuring they possess the foundational skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in upper-level high school courses, post-secondary education, and the workforce. Students who do not meet the required accomplishments may enroll in approved summer school courses, credit recovery programs, and/or complete an educational proficiency plan, an EPP, which includes additional coursework and assessments to ensure they reach the necessary competency levels for the CD. Meeting these requirements alongside earning sufficient course credits is essential for graduation. Consideration for students with disabilities and English learners. Students with disabilities. Lunenburg Public Schools ensures that all students with disabilities, including those placed in out-of-district day or residential programs, have equal opportunity to meet Massachusetts competency determination and local graduation requirements. For in-district students, the IEP team annually reviews CD progress beginning no later than age 14. Students receive specialized instruction aligned to state standards, MCAS or MCAS alt participation with accommodations as needed, assistive technology and individualized supports, transition planning and services starting at age 14, as well as alternate ways to demonstrate competency when appropriate. For out-of-district students, leads annual IEP reviews with the out-of-district provider, confirms curriculum alignment to state standards, monitors progress towards CD and local requirements, retains sole authority to award the CD and diploma, ensures MCAS and MCAS alt access and accommodations. IEPs document the projected graduation date and completion pathway. In rare cases, services may continue beyond meeting graduation requirements if FAPE has not yet been provided. LPS uses the IEP process to support timely, appropriate graduation decisions while ensuring compliance and equity for all learners. For English learners, for each course required in the completion of coursework and mastery of skills, the standards measured by the high school English language arts, mathematics, and science MCAS assessments administered in 2023 have been outlined along with U.S. history, English learners student
work is aligned with the standards and is assessed at their WIDA level. Opportunities are provided for multiple means of expression. The district has available a list of accommodations and strategies for teachers working with English learners. Considerations for late enrolling students. Transfer students to Lunenburg who enter after 9th grade will undergo a transcript review by the principal or designee to determine whether the coursework from the sending school or schools can be applied to the competency determination. If the review determines that the student has not met the competency determination, alternatives will be offered to provide an opportunity for the student to meet this requirement. Alternatives may include summer school, online coursework, mastery performance exams, or other alternatives deemed suitable by the principal or designee. Such alternatives may require additional time outside the school day or year. The superintendent shall be the arbiter for all final decisions. Role of MCAS in limited circumstances. In the limited circumstance when we are unable to document a student's prior coursework from either contact with the prior school or from information provided by the student and/or parent or guardians, we will allow for a student to earn the CD by attainment of a qualifying score of at least meeting expectations or exceeding expectations achievement levels on the relevant high school MCAS assessment, or student work that satisfies the same academic standard. Process for a student to appeal district's decision to award or deny a CD. If a student is dissatisfied with the district's decision to award or deny a CD, the following appeals process should take place. An appeal in writing will be addressed and sent to the high school principal within 10 school days and after a transcript review and/or other components and consultation with central office administration. The principal will respond in writing and in a language the student can understand the rationale for the decision. The principal may also request a meeting with the student and parents or guardians. The superintendent shall be the arbiter for all final decisions. Process for a current or former student to request a transcript review. Eligible students in the classes of 2003 through 2024 who did not earn a diploma as a result of failing to meet the state CD requirements have an opportunity to request a transcript review in order to determine their current eligibility for a diploma pursuant to the district's CD requirements. An eligible student is one who was previously enrolled in the district and previously met the criteria for a certificate of attainment. For example, a student met local graduation requirements but did not receive a high school diploma because they did not earn a CD, and was not previously reported as a graduate in any district's Student Information Management System, SIMS, submission. Any eligible student requesting a transcript review should, in writing, contact the high school principal. High school department leaders, along with the principal, shall determine if the transcript review meets the new CD requirements. Decisions will be communicated to the eligible student within 8 weeks of initial contact. The superintendent shall be the arbiter for all final decisions. Any student who has not previously met the criteria for a certificate of attainment, indicating that they did not meet all local graduation requirements when they exited high school, must meet the district's current CD requirements and local graduation requirements in order to earn a diploma. This requirement does not apply to students who have earned the competency determination prior to January 2025.
That was awesome. Good job.
That's another DESE required policy.
Can I just ask about the cashless one?
Yeah.
So that is something, I think is a good thing.
Book fair.
I wasn't thinking about the book fair.
It just occurred to me.
There's an e-wallet, but also the PTO funnels takes the money for the book fair, so I actually don't think,
They're a private nonprofit.
Yep.
yeah, I don't think that
Pennyworth.
that counts. Yeah, the PTO does all of the work on the money end for those.
Private nonprofit.
I was just wondering about at the sporting events and stuff, just making sure accessibility. Are you going to take Venmo or are you going to, like, something like that?
So for the athletic stuff, Huddle has already been set up
Yeah,
and it works. I used it at homecoming.
okay.
It's just a QR code. If you have a Huddle account, it'll take the
What if
money
you don't?
What if you don't have
automatically.
a Huddle
And
account?
you sign up for a Huddle account, it takes like 2 minutes
Okay,
It's free.
and it's free.
yeah. Okay.
We're not doing cash anymore. Like, there's too many problems.
Oh, no, cash has to go.
And Huddle was, setting something up other than that would have cost additional money, whereas the Huddle stuff that we had was already ready to go.
The town uses Unipay, and
Yeah.
they're actually going to come and do a demonstration for us to see if that would work. Prior to this, this effort was stopped at the town level because of some town concerns, but talking to Mylene, she feels that if we have a secure system, such as Huddle for sports or Unipay, and then we'll be okay.
Okay.
And I think that the cash handling policy is designed to do two things. Number one, it's designed to make it more uniform about how we process payments and things like that. But it's also part of a larger effort to streamline and refine the way that the district manages money after issues that occurred under the last administration. So hopefully this is, one drop in the bucket indicating that we are being better stewards of the town's money.
I like that we're moving to cashless. I think it makes it easier for everyone. I don't love the idea of having to download an app and create an account to enter a football game,
You don't have to download the app.
but you still have to tie your credit card number to
Sure,
another service.
yeah.
Whereas if we could do something like Square, we could just take credit cards, which.
Square is exceptionally.
I know. That's going to be difficult. However, I do think we need to move to cashless.
The other problem is if you do a point of sale option like Square, you have an annual processing affidavit compliance thing that you have to do. And while it is not that much work every year, it's either once every other year or once every 3 years, it is like hours of verification. Having to do this at my business, the Square stuff is expensive and it can be very time consuming. So like, I appreciate the idea of like not having to sign up for another app because we do that too much already.
Yeah.
But like, we need to get this up and running quickly and
We're going to have some cranky.
I just think we're gonna have some
grandparents. We're
people
gonna
that
have
are
cranky
Yeah.
grandparents that
cranky
can't
it
Yeah.
be able to get in. And I think that by
people should
asking,
use best judgment when handling cranky grandparents.
yeah, I'm concerned about that people who are used to paying cash and getting into football games are now going to be asked to sit there at the game and start an account.
Like I said, I think people that are at the admissions thing should use their best judgment.
We take the Square at PTO.
It's just like a pain in the butt though.
It's not really that much of a pain in the butt, but
I think I'd rather.
I mean, I would
pay
ask
the buck
Alex
for
Lind.
us than
She's
a bunch of
the-
grandparents
the,
trying to go to the senior game.
Alex Lind is our treasurer, so I can ask her. It is high, though. I do know the
fees are
fee is
crazy.
high. I do know the fee is high on the Square.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Square makes a difference. I think people just want to be able to pay you in Venmo, honestly. When we're at PTO, everyone wants to pay Venmo. That's all they want to pay us.
There was some technical reason why we couldn't do Venmo.
Venmo is actually owned by PayPal now, though.
Yeah.
So
PayPal has security
really?
issues too,
yes, because actually, we've been trying at PTO
at least
to
according to the town.
figure out what we could do that was different, because the Square works fine, but really, people want to pay by Venmo.
Venmo is so awesome, but for some reason it didn't meet the
I mean, I'm just telling you that, because
Yeah.
we do this all the time, right? We're always selling stuff at,
town's.
We took Venmo at
Town's
our
concerned about
lemonade
the security.
stand
Yeah.
because we got so many requests at the lemonade stand for Venmo.
Sure. Everybody uses Venmo, but I think that the issue that we had, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the town indicated that there were security concerns with Venmo that did not exist with Huddle. And so like, we did not do Venmo. I don't disagree.
that's fine. Well, I mean, we'll deal with the cranky people. But if there's a lot of people that are complaining, I just
Yeah,
want to make
there's
sure
gonna-
we know that we might have to come back to this policy.
There will be pushback.
If there's going to be people who aren't happy.
There's almost always pushback.
Right, and I think that like, what we do as a cashless solution is something that you guys should always.
Right, that's the thing. I am
But,
not
like,
against, I am not
we're
against.
going cashless,
Yeah,
period.
I'm not against going cashless.
Okay.
Not at all. I
Like,
just want to
we
make it
cannot
as convenient
not
for
do
people
that.
as possible.
Yeah.
To pay people.
Yeah.
And like, how much money do we make at the door anyways? I think that's like another like question. Are we paying someone to sit there?
No.
Like,
Hopefully this year we'll have better information about that.
what? You don't have to, these are just rhetorical questions. I don't need an answer right now, but I just think that's like a good, like if we're spending how much money to then have people complain to bring in like $3,000, you know, I guess I want to be in the couch cushions, but I don't know, it feels like a little bit.
We don't want to spend $6,000 to pay people to collect $3,000.
Yes, that's what I mean. I don't think we're doing that, but it does beg the question.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, right, like
I don't
it
want to create a
is,
system that keeps people from going to game. So were we cashless at this football game?
well, I paid
No.
with cans, I don't know.
No, we were
Oh,
both
the donations.
Oh.
hybrid.
Like my son brought canned goods to get in.
So yes, it was
Just do
cans
that
or
every
cash.
time.
Yeah, bring cans.
Cans, cashless or cash.
And students don't have to pay, right?
No, students
No,
don't have to pay.
only
at all.
parents.
And teachers don't have to pay.
Yeah, just parents. So. Okay, I think we can move on. I just think it's worth thinking about.
No, it's a good.
I think we should always explore our cashless options, but I think that we need to make sure that we are going cashless. And the policy doesn't specify any solution, so it's like, do whatever works, but.
We need
no-
an enterprising high school student with a Huddle account to sit outside the game and charge $1 to buy people tickets with their Huddle account. with
That would be
cash.
hilarious.
Not saying do that, would solve a lot of problems.
You're an old grandma? Here we go. You old grandpa? Here you go. We should have like a place where they could all congregate and complain. Right, you know, like right by the,
It's called Facebook, Tony.
or the gate, right? They're just gonna be like standing in line at the gate. Ah, this stinks.
Okay, let's move on. Sorry,
right.
I'm not in charge, but
No, you're right.
All right, old business. The next thing that we have is superintendent draft goals and school committee draft goals. Action item is only the superintendent draft goals.
Have there been any changes since last time?
All
Okay.
right. Then I think, unless we have questions, I would vote to approve the already discussed superintendent draft goals.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
All right. You have goals now.
I have goals. You can take draft off.
You've been working on these goals since you got here.
Until now, you had no goals.
No, didn't have a single one.
All right. Discussion. Can I just take a time out?
Yep.
We've had two people in the audience. Is there, these meetings take forever. We have to be here. You don't? Is there anything we can do? Are you guys here for public comment? Are you here for anything? Oh, okay. All right.
Great, we love
And
you.
then
We're not used to
we
that.
first of all, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. Awesome. That's amazing.
Welcome. I appreciate the shepherd's crook. And I'm also glad you're here, but I just didn't want you to, like, if there was one thing, I would try to move it around so that we could get you guys to
Your
where you need to
kindergarten
be.
parents at primary, right? Yes.
Oh,
Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
All right. So back on task. School committee goals. I think we talked about these before. They're still draft. Where are we at?
Where are they?
You never wrote any.
Oh, jeez, guys.
Well, we talked about them.
Let me flub this up. All right,
We
let's.
came up with them.
Let's
That
do
way
it.
that
Let's do
there's
it right
no
now.
Formal
document.
document for them yet because we were revisiting it. We just did a quick little chat, the last one.
All right, let's do school committee goals.
All right, let's knock this out.
So we had Turkey Hill.
Yep.
Was one of the priorities.
Is Tony's taking,
I'll take them. I'll do the. What?
Tony's gonna write them?
Yeah.
First, it's got to install Google Docs.
I'm gonna be one of those old people like complain. What's going on?
I think I have, let me see if I wrote it down.
So, yeah, it was Turkey Hill.
Turkey Hill, the future of Turkey Hill was one of our discussion
Absolutely.
points.
By the way, just so you know, I think that there are lots of things in town that are sort of tied up with the Turkey Hill project.
We need to just figure it out.
Yeah, I think we should.
Oh, like what?
I'd like to discuss it literally next meeting,
Let's do it.
because I think there's some, we'd have to talk to Chris, and there's more information we need, and I'll get prices for things.
I think we should, because the topic is so
To get it done
big.
by next fall.
Yeah, because the topic is so big.
Get moving.
Maybe we should just have a very limited discussion about whether or not it makes sense to renovate or rebuild. And then leave everything else. to the
No,
waiver.
that's what I meant by a discussion.
Just that issue.
For this year.
Yes.
And we're going to decide that next meeting.
It
we have any
might be a
data?
multi-meeting thing. We need to talk
But
to
if we have
Chris.
one question and we stay focused, I think it's, I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now.
Like a 200-page report.
Yeah, yeah, but like, I do not think that the town has the appetite or the money to spend $85 million on a new building. And it is clear from the report that the building that we have can be rehabbed in a way.
How much?
Well, their projection was $16 million. That seemed like wildly optimistic.
Yeah, 16 million.
But
sounds
it's
wild.
not going to be $85 million.
So the only thing I would say is if we're thinking about strategically staying at Turkey Hill, right?
Yeah.
And what is the town doing with TCP, and stuff like that? There had been some discussion. I had talked to the previous superintendent. I know that she, was doing a lot of things and stuff, but she had some ideas about, whether the primary school, her dream scenario was that the primary school come up this way and we use the primary school as more of
Early childhood.
early childhood
offices.
superintendent office, that kind of stuff. And then,
Okay, I just want to make sure we stay on task.
okay, so what are we doing?
All we're doing is, do we want to put something on the agenda for next week about Turkey, or next
Sure.
time?
I think it should be on
2
every
weeks.
agenda from now until
But we
then.
need, I think it's an ongoing discussion. I don't think it's a simple,
No, I'm not saying that we're not going to have an ongoing discussion. I'm saying we need to break it down into chunks.
okay,
then
first we need to get some
decide-
information. I would like
decide
to
about-
talk to Chris Stevens about it, but he's currently busy doing the capital planning stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we already
decide-
got a lot of information.
Yeah, we already have
There's already
a
a
lot
whole
of-
study
Yeah.
that
So,
was
like-
done. So this is why we keep stopping.
Yes.
Because we have the
So whether or
information.
not
It's
that
the money that's the
one-
issue. We need to figure out if we want to renovate or knock it down.
That's
We need to make a decision and
Yes.
move on, or
So
it's
that's-
never going to happen.
That study did the mechanical engineering and the. it
And
was too-
ADA, it had a lot of information.
It did have, but it didn't bring the school up to the level of a modern elementary school. So I think we need to.
But we
gather
don't
more
need to do
information.
that. That is not something we need to decide now, because all we're deciding is, what direction do we want to go? We don't need to decide how we're going to get there, how much it's going to cost, just what direction do we want to go?
But respectfully, I think what Laura is saying is if it's going to cost $80 million for a new building, and it's going to cost $75 million to make Turkey Hill
Yes.
look like it should be, then are we really talking about renovating Turkey Hill? So I think respectfully, that is.
It would have
Yeah.
to be $60 million over what they projected for it to be $75 million.
So I am not arguing the finer points. I'm just saying, I think that's what she's saying.
Right, I get it.
And what I'm
I don't wanna
saying
just-
is that I want to make sure we have a plan for everything, but I don't want to just sit around and talk about it. I do agree. I just think,
But we've never
I mean, we've
actually.
been talking about it I've been following school committee
Yeah,
for
but we've
years.
never actually sat down and said, which one are we gonna do? And I wanna look at, here's an elementary school nearby that was redone. Fitchburg just redid Crocker. How much did that cost? How much was covered by the state? How much was covered by the town? How much did it cost?
But the report provides that information. It says, if
No.
you're going to rebuild, here's how much it's going to cost. If you were going to rehab it, to fix it and make it compliant, here's how much that costs.
How old is
And then
this
there's a
report?
It
delta.
was from last year,
okay.
but it didn't say, it
Doc-
didn't give an exact delta. We asked for.
Oh, right, but we're
afterwards.
never going to get an exact.
Can't
never
have
gonna
that
get-
without
But
a
it,
set plan.
I mean,
Without a
that
set of plans.
I
Yeah, we're
have
not
had,
gonna-
certain people have asked whether or not that report is accurate and if 16 million is even near what it's going to do. So I would like to look at what other
We do not
schools
have the
done.
expertise to do that.
But we can look at how much Crocker Elementary costs to build.
Well, Littleton's doing Shaker Lane and it's 110 million.
Right,
Yeah,
like,
I think looking at Fitchburg is going to be
If we're-
very different than what ours would be.
But
They're
It's
a city with
point,
many more children going to school
But it's a-
than us.
it's a data point.
but we don't have the expertise to understand what the data point means.
I don't want to just blindly decide we're going to renovate this school because this one report said it's going to cost 16 million, because it is not going to cost.
You are
16
not an engineer. You do not have the expertise to do this. I am not an engineer. I do not have the expertise to do this. We just need to pick a direction to give to the experts. And we've like done this for 5 years, where we're like, we need one more piece of information. We just need to decide, should we be rebuilding or should we be rehabbing? And I don't think that's a complicated question. We're not gonna have the specifics we need to say what the price difference is. We're just not gonna have that, ever.
Okay. But we still need to have the discussion publicly instead of making up minds preemptively and then deciding we're gonna go in that direction. It needs to be a public discussion.
I can make up my mind right now.
I know.
Right, but, so what I'm saying is like, we need to have a discussion that's focused on specific tasks.
So can we just talk about 2 or 3 things that we need to have that conversation? So for example, could Dr. Fortuna resend the report out to all of us new people?
Yeah,
So I could
so
actually
I've got
read
a
the
list,
report.
'cause there's that report.
Right? If it's
And Eric
important,
Peavy made a report a year and a half ago about the condition.
It is on the town site, too.
it is,
yeah.
okay. I mean,
But,
I'm
yeah, it
happy
would
to
be
look for
helpful
it, but
to
if
have
it's
it.
easy for you to send it to me, I would
It would be
appreciate-
helpful to have it.
I would
But yeah, it is
appreciate
on the
that.
site.
And I know that Chris
For others
Stevens
to
has a
see,
point, has
Who's Chris
opinions on.
Stevens?
He's our
Our facilities director.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Chris has opinions on the building too, and as he's the one in charge of
Yeah, no, no,
maintaining
I-
that facility, I think we should talk to him as well before picking a direction
So-
and going in that direction.
So I think the other thing that would be helpful to me is to know a little bit more. I only know the basics of the MSBA, which this could be something I could do outside of school committee.
No, I think that we should do that as another topic on the Turkey Hill agenda.
Okay.
Because it's a really important thing.
About how much they reimburse,
Correct.
what
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
they
yeah.
'Cause there is
reimburse.
more reimbursement for new builds than old builds, because they want us to build new. 'cause
Can I just
economy.
take that? George, you do this stuff all the time. Tell us how to do this.
Do you do state contracts and town municipal contracts?
The state contracts I've worked with, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and prevailing wage and,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but,
yeah, but we still have to do it.
yeah.
We
So-
have to, so things are gonna cost more.
That's the hard part, is swallowing why we're forced to do something that's gonna cost 30% more. We got taxpayer dollars, there's a law that prevents favoritism, but yet it favors
Yeah.
somebody.
So what should our first decision point be?
I think honestly, I think the determination of what the outcome of the project needs to be, right?
Yeah.
So, do we need, what does the school need, and can the current structure support that? Because there might be add-on, can we add on to that
Yeah,
building?
okay.
I like that goal-oriented.
So I think that's a good way to think about it, right? What do we want?
Right.
What's
what you're-
what's the
needed?
end- what's the
Wants
end
and
result?
needs are-
Right, exactly. What do we need? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm,
And be less concerned about the architecture and the look, and
Yeah.
more
Oh, yeah, I don't
concerned with functionality.
Care about that, we just,
But, yeah, I mean, if the current size of the school fits our future projection of enrollment, right?
Birth rates are not going up.
but we also need superintendent facilities.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah,
you've been in there during.
yeah.
Well, Jody's office was fine when I was in it, classroom.
I
Not
love my
ideal.
office, except
not ideal, but it's
sometimes it's
better.
not noise friendly.
It's not,
Soundproof walls.
and a way to isolate visitors
but,
who
you know, I'm
haven't been
sure
quarried,
that,
who are walking around the
You know,
school building.
it's, when you talk about a rehab, it's nearly a gut job, right?
Sure, this will be
It is.
a lot of
Heating,
work.
Cooling systems, the windows, the doors. I know we just replaced doors, but
Yeah.
in reality, it's gotta be all brought up to where it should be, right? So there's going to be, it's probably, yeah, it's gonna be far greater than
$16 million.
$20 million. But, when we start talking in terms of $15-20 million and say, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
money.
an entire year's school budget.
right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
sure. That's a good way to look at it.
Rehab would be the ultimate thing, not to tear a building down, to add on a little bit, maybe,
Yeah.
make a few changes in there, but yeah, you're gonna spend all the money inside, I mean, that's,
Right, and I think, but my question about the MSBA is, right,
Yeah.
if we rehab, right, so the MSBA is the state function, the state way that the state reimburses a portion of the payment, how much do they reimburse for rehab versus brand new, I think that should be part of the equation, because that's a financial decision,
Yeah.
right? If it's gonna cost us $100 million to build a new school, and 50 million of it gets reimbursed, that costs us 50 million. If it costs us 50 million to gut it and redo it,
But nothing is reimbursed.
but nothing is reimbursed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
if
so
the end result's 50 million.
One of the things that makes,
I'm just, I don't know that any of those numbers make sense, and I do want to read.
You're not wrong, I
When
just
we
don't think it'll
began-
go that way.
Right.
When we began this discussion, the MSBA had paused rehabilitation. It was only new builds because they did not have money for both, and they decided to prioritize new buildings. So that's where we were. when
and they
this discussion-
changed what they give every year.
They
So
do.
it's not like
So we're
it's,
still not going to be able to
We're not gonna be able to
entirely
nail it.
accurately predict because they change based on politically what they
the
want.
funding that they get, the political
Like
winds.
right
that
now,
blows,
it's a
sure.
lot of heat switches, and they
Where they
won't
wanna put it,
do
what
gas
towns they want.
burners.
Is there any funding sources available for the ADA portion? Like, I'm wondering if there's any sort of
There
grants or funding to get.
Are, there are
up
also
to
funding
par.
sources for green projects that are
Right.
separate from the MSBA.
Right.
So, yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get some stuff for energy.
Yeah, that's nitty gritty.
So what if we did this? What if we had, on the next agenda, we had all of us think about what we want it to look like, what our goal is. Then the next one, we talk about the rehab or rebuild. Then, like, we can just break it up, and then the next one after that will be
We're
funding.
about to run into budget season, so we might
Yeah.
want to combine some of those. Because
Yeah.
we're about to hit, I
That's
would
a
like
good
to
point.
get this done before
Yeah, that's a good point.
budget, because everything takes.
But
up
this
our
would
budget.
be you're looking at 27 or 28, like
34.
34.
I mean, we're looking, this is
I
a
won't be-
very long-term discussion. Nothing happens quickly in this town, and we're probably going to ask for the money for whatever we do first, and we're probably going to get told no.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I don't think
That's
that,
kind of,
I mean, Chris Menard said at the tri-board meeting that they had room under the
We-
debt exclusion for a project.
we do, we have
And
room
there's-
for all three projects.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's necessarily,
I mean, generally, people in this town,
So I
We
would
don't
read
love
this
spending money.
94-page report, but for the people who are already enmeshed in this,
I gotta read it.
how much did we talk about what it should look like for a modern classroom? Or was
Not
this-
at all. So this was, in part, because there had been discussions with municipal design there have been questions with the town side about the town taking Turkey Hill as a community center for the food pantry, for PAC, for town offices, or whatever they need. And so originally, so MSBA changed,
can I
or,
just say this? In order for us to keep moving along and make out of here in time, this, like, what that report means, we can talk about that offline. I don't think it will violate open meeting law for Mandy to call one of us and go through it. But just to focus on what we want to put on the agenda for next time regarding Turkey Hill, and then go on to the other goals for school committee, because I know that we had other goals that we wanted to
this
set.
was
Primary
just
school
to make a
playground.
building, like, that wouldn't fall down, or it was to maintain it.
Okay, I got it, yeah, I'll look.
All right, so what do we want to put on the agenda? Because Liz is waiting for us to tell her.
I know, she's like, ready to go.
What do you mean, what do we want to put on the agenda?
For another goal, or are we still talking?
No, for Turkey Hill for next,
Oh my God, I don't know, all the things we just talked about.
Next week, we should talk about, we should come
Wait,
up with
is
a.
it next week budget?
Not next week, next meeting. Or next normal, regularly scheduled meeting.
Okay.
We should, I really like George's goal-centered approach.
Yeah.
So we should come up with what we want in the end result. Not what it looks like, but what the end goal is, as in, do we, a modern elementary school or the lowest, we need to
Well,
come
then we
up.
should also have a section for needs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That's, I
Okay.
think, a bigger.
And I think Dr. Fortuna probably has a lot to say about that. And if Mr. Stevens could come too, and we could talk about the current condition of Turkey Hill, so we can talk about the current condition.
No,
No, I don't think we should do that.
no, that's too broad. We're spending too much time.
And
We got to break,
We know the current condition.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure why we're-
everybody's aware that
And
the
we've all been.
school-
I would like Mr. Stevens to come to a meeting and talk to us. I would like us.
I'm not saying he shouldn't come,
Yeah.
but I don't think we need to go through the whole.
No, we don't need to do
What
that. I
think
is
if
wrong
you're
with
just
Turkey Hill,
talking
because I think
about-
we know what all those
about-
things.
I don't think we do.
about what the end result
I
of the school project might look like, and then it helps decide if.
Yeah,
okay,
but-
let's do that. Let's put
Because
that on.
honestly,
on the
if you
agenda.
go to somebody for a feasibility study, you're like, this is where we want to wind
Right.
up, but what do we got to do to get there?
Right,
If you're gonna pay all that money for somebody to
yeah.
go through and go, yeah, that ain't happening in a structure.
Yeah, that's true.
So Liz, can you make a folder for next time, or just maybe not in next week's folder, but just a Turkey Hill folder so we can track all the information we have? Because I think we have the studies from 2018 as well. The current one and then the one that Mr. Heavey did. Like, we've studied it to death, but I still want to talk to Mr. Stevens and ask him questions about his opinion. And then talk to Dr. Fortuna about district offices.
What if we had Dr. Fortuna solicit opinions from people instead of having them come and talk?
I kind of just assumed that everyone would tell her what they thought.
Right, but like just have them give her feedback in writing.
So we can't ask, you mean Mr. Stevens? Is he?
Anybody?
I think a good place to start, and I've been contemplating this, is with the staff at Turkey Hill, who have to practice their craft in the building. That was designed and programmed to be a middle school and not an elementary school. And I think they can tell you what some of the issues are. And so I think soliciting that from the Turkey Hill staff might be a great discussion, not for our next meeting, because we need people to give time to respond and.
I think that's
But
a good idea.
that's
But
definitely a
there.
step in the process, is understanding what the staff needs.
Yeah.
And what they see
More bathrooms.
as the way they're gonna operate down the road, but I think if we wanna go step by step, and I think it's like coming up with what do we need at the end?
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
what's the end of the project?
Let's do it that way. So nothing on next time's agenda, but 2 times from now, we'll go through the feedback and set the goal for what we want it to look like. I think that's an easy. And then we'll go into the nitty gritty, and then the one after that, we'll talk about funding options. And hopefully we'll have some better ideas for funding options by then.
But I think, Tony, you are obsessed with deciding and then funding, and I don't think we can do it that direction.
I don't care what we do, I just want to make decisions.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is I am not going to be personally making any decisions about what it's going to look like without understanding the funding possibilities.
Right, but we won't know that.
Well, then we need to figure out what we're going to do, because I just don't think as a steward of the town's money, I'm going to say, we need X, and then it comes back and like, wow, this is the more pricey option.
But what I'm trying to say is like the MSBA is not it's not something you look up, right? You're not going to get that
Whatever
information.
they give you, so
Yeah.
we won't
It
have-
changes from year to year.
It doesn't exist.
Perhaps part of this goal could be to, once we decide what we're doing, could be to submit a statement of interest to the MSBA.
Yep, but we have to the problem with that is
We
you
have
have
to
to.
decide what we want to do first.
You
Right,
have to
so
decide
I'm
if
not,
you wanna
I'm
do
not
it.
saying we're going to look at the website and find it out, but there must be some sort of history of what the MSBA has done over the last 5 to 10 years.
And it is different every year.
And yeah, but it's
I want you
some
to
things.
present that to me, that and tell me what the difference is every year. I don't think we can make an informed decision without some sense of what they do. You disagree. You just don't think that we're ever going to get that from them, so we should just
We're not going to get that
decide.
in a way that we can rely on because it will change from year to year.
Generally, no.
And we can get trends.
I think-
But the trends are subject to the whims of politicians and the funding from the state.
I also think our goals, like
Correct.
But we can
George
generally look.
said, and then our needs and wants should drive the decision as well.
Yep.
But
I
we,
agree that money is a huge issue.
Well, right.
I'm not saying that should
I
be
think that we
disregarded at
can
all,
look
but I
at
think the
past
goals.
elementary projects, see how much they generally cost, square footage, how many students are in it, and how much of it was funded by the MSBA, and make some general assumptions.
The problem is.
Based on that.
I don't think building projects are that simple. And I don't think we have the expertise to know that.
No.
I think we're never going to know it perfectly, but more,
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's
just
not.
say,
I
well,
mean,
we're
you're
not
not gonna
engineers,
get
so
there
why
without-
bother looking?
It's just, you're not gonna get there without, you're not gonna get there without a goal in mind. In other words, that's how you have to start, right? You gotta have a vision of what we need, and then we gotta build towards that, and then decide which fork in the road you gotta take, depending on funding and design and all that stuff. So it's not something you can just pull out of your head. And to Tony's point, where are you gonna get the information from? Like, if you don't know where funding's gonna come from, it's,
And like, if you compare like Crocker Elementary to whatever, we don't know what, like, that place could have tons of asbestos that needed to be abated, and that's not gonna be something that we would be able to determine looking at just the costs. And so it's very difficult to
More than
compare.
one data point, though.
Right, but it's very difficult to know that the data points are useful because none of us, except for George, have any experience building things. Right? Like, if all of us were engineers or all of us were builders, then we would be talking about this in a different way. But none of us are. And so I think that what we've
Right.
got to do is just figure out what the goals are and understand
not
that there are
an
limitations in the process, right? Like, Mandy's concern is a perfectly reasonable one. I can tell you that Dr. Burnham and I had talked about hiring a special lawyer that used to work for the MSBA to help us weave through the bureaucracy. It's just, it's
I
a
do think At
morass.
some point
It's a total morass.
in the future, we will probably want to look at hiring someone with MSBA.
Oh, yeah.
experience.
I don't disagree with that. But the same problem with the funding exists with the looking at comp buildings, right? Like, if you go to buy a house, you could say like, oh, this house is the same square footage, it's, in this similar town. But if one house is, sitting on ledge granite and the other house has, easy to
But
build.
that's a bad
Can I-
example.
Terrible
That's
example,
because
because
people sell houses based on comps all the
Can
time.
I,
Right,
Do an
but,
addition. There's a
but you
normal
have
number that they
but you
use
have
to
an
say this.
expert that is telling you what the comps
Right.
mean. We do
No.
not have that.
But
Can-
why not?
can
Why
I-
don't we have an expert? Isn't that what we're
Perhaps-
supposed to be doing?
perhaps if I could.
One report by someone who just wants to, sorry.
All right,
Perhaps if I could explain how the MSBA funding works right now, because it's different for every town.
Yes.
Every town will be reimbursed at a different rate, and that rate does change every year.
Yes.
They start with a base rate, which is currently 31%.
Yes.
So
But is that
the
on a
base rate.
renovation? No.
No, this is for a new build.
It's for a new build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they look at the socioeconomic factors
Yeah.
of the community, like income, property wealth, and poverty level. Then they look at incentive points for how green our building is going to be. The
Yep.
greener it is, the more reimbursement you get. And then there's the project-specific calculation. It's the sum of the base rate, the adjustments from socioeconomic factors, and any incentive points awarded. So that's how MSBA funding works, and that's why it's not predictable.
Right, but 31%, and does that number go up and down?
Yes.
So that could go
That
down.
changes every year.
Because it's based on the 1 cent per the, so for those of you who don't know, the MSBA gets 1 cent of the sales tax. So every time you pay 6.5.
Really?
They get 1 cent of the sales tax. Yes, that's how that's one of the ways they are funded. That is the way they're funded, excuse me. So, so yes, so what I'm going to do, if it's of any interest, I'm going to write Senator Cronin's office an email and see if they have someone at MSBA that I can talk to.
That would be wonderful.
And I think
So
we
much
probably could get some advice that's not based on paying yet.
Yeah.
So, because I am concerned, as I said at the beginning of this half-hour conversation, about just barreling towards a renovation that isn't going to give our kids what they want, what they need, and it also isn't going to save us that much money on the back end because we're going to get some money from the state.
That's fine.
Okay?
I don't think that, that's fine.
Mandy's going policy on it.
Yeah, no, I think that's the discussion as somebody that can be at the 30,000
Right.
foot view of this, even
Yeah.
though it involves me greatly. I think the discussion that you do need to have is really what are the pros and cons. And
Right.
one of the pros of a build is you will get some MSBA reimbursement.
Yeah.
You won't because it get MSBA reimbursement because it won't qualify as an accelerated repair project. And those are the two things they're funding right now.
Yeah.
So I think you need to weigh the pros and cons of each scenario and then decide which direction is best for the entire community of Lunenburg.
Yeah, and then the other thing I am just interested in, and I don't want to make this a longer process than it needs to be, right? But are we utilizing the space that we have in the most effective way, in your professional opinion, right? And are our schools split correctly, right? And when we're doing a project, is the middle high school the right size? Do you know what I mean? As we are looking to fund or renovate, are we making sure that we are thinking of it not from a 10-year plan, but a holistic approach to make sure, because as much as I don't always want to go for overrides, projects like schools pass at a much better rate than actually operating overrides. So they have been successful in Lunenburg. I know Lunenburg's voters have not voted for overrides always on the operating side. I'm hopeful that won't continue, but we have voted for 2 new schools in the last 20 years. So it's not
But they weren't on overrides, they were just regular debt.
no, they were debt exclusions.
They're debt exclusions.
Yeah.
But it's the same process.
Okay.
It has to go before the
The
town.
public views it as
and
an override.
The public views it as an override because it's basically the same thing. You have to go
It's 20 years.
before town meeting and you have to go before the town. So, and they passed the primary school is how old? 20 years?
94?
2004.
Yeah. And the middle high school is 10 years?
So I think,
2014.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's going on 12.
Yeah. So it's not like in our recent history, we haven't built 2 new schools.
All right, so what is our second goal as a school committee? So I want to get this done.
Budget.
Primary school playground.
Primary school playground.
Primary school playground, which is in works with capital planning. Yeah.
This is playground and the parking lot.
And the parking.
Yeah, they're tied in together.
They do,
Yeah, I thought that the turnout at Literacy Night was not as much as it usually can be because I think the parking is a nightmare. I honestly think people didn't go because the parking is a nightmare at the primary school.
What was the thing,
The staff has been amazing at mitigating the parking issues. Carla has really.
Yeah, I mean, they do-
Yeah, Mrs. Squire has been fantastic at taking charge of that. The last year, events we would go to, like the concert, they had the vice principal out there directing traffic. I got there one time and there was a logging truck parked. They were fantastic at dealing with what they needed
I mean, you park
to.
on the field, there's just no.
There's just no
I don't
parking.
love
On two
parking
sides
And
of
they
the
didn't,
road,
I don't
like,
think they had a
so
Halloween
unsafe.
event. They had a Halloween event at Turkey Hill, and this is just an educated
never-
guess.
they've never-
They've never done it at the primary school, but I honestly think it's parking. Part of it.
Oh, yeah, parents aren't invited.
I think part of it's
Right.
philosophical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they do a costume thing at
They
Turkey
do.
Hill, so. Okay, well, never mind. Maybe that's not why they don't do it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it because the parking.
But they
is
do
so
do
terrible.
other events.
The parking is terrible.
Right, but
Last
during the
year they
day,
did the
to
turkey
get
run.
everyone there, like all the parents there,
all right, so what's our third goal?
a smooth budget process with, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about that.
And we are still on track, calendar-wise, with the budget?
We're
can I just-
meeting tomorrow with all the principals.
Can I just ask, it wasn't us who pushed back these meetings for the
No, it was
Sky
the
Board,
town.
right? It was the town, okay, which is perfectly acceptable. I just wanted to be clear about what it was.
Do we have any other goals?
I think that's enough.
Those were our top 3 we talked about, but
All right.
I don't know if there's.
I have one.
Okay, goals, no,
A comprehensive long-term facilities
Help get them
plan of all of our buildings, the state of the buildings, roof and boils, et cetera, which I've been holding off on pushing for because Mr. Stevens was new, and I think it does take time for the facilities director to get to know the buildings, but I think that's something that we really should do. I know capital planning was asking about it on
Yeah, that's a good idea.
last week. They thought something existed, but I don't think something does exist. I know I've been asking for it, but we've had a lot of turnover in that role. But I would like a comprehensive view of in 2040, we're probably going to need a new roof to know which projects are coming down the line, how old boilers are and when they're going to need to be replaced. I'm sure there are things I am not considering. Everything that's going to cost a lot of money that is likely to happen in the next 20 years.
Non-personnel.
Non-personnel, yeah.
Non-personnel
Non-insurance,
facilities, because we are stewards of the facilities, so I would very much like that.
All right. All right. Those
Are we
four.
doing specifics, or are we just, these are just our
Whatever you
general
want.
goals?
What's
Like, do we want to, I'm just thinking about the primary playground, like, if we're just writing primary playground, that doesn't really say what we would like for the primary playground? Are we going to come back to that and have
I would like to
details
have a
on
safe,
universally
safe,
accessible?
universally accessible
Yeah.
playground that works for the school and allows for parking.
The age group and kids with
Yes.
So
disabilities.
right now, that's in the hand of capital planning. And I'm not sure, I think they accelerated the process. But we'll figure out if they're funding it, because that is a capital project, which is a little outside of our hands. However, we,
So if they fund it, we have no say in what happens?
no,
They
they
say-
do. They give us the money.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
do
the
it.
way
No.
you said it made it sound like it was out of
The
our
only
hands,
thing
out
that
of our
we-
hands.
Whether or not they fund it this
Yes.
year, however, it was supposed to be funded last year and got pushed back. And, you know, we can go to the capital planning meetings and.
I was going to say, is there as I know Emily feels very strongly about this, I do too, but I know, in particular, is there something we as school committee members should be doing to the capital planning committee? Should we,
What should we do to them?
should we talk to them, or is there any more information, or should we be lobbying
They have some
them?
shoots under fingernails.
Yeah.
you know, holding
So,
Lobbying
people
them.
hostage,
Peter
kidnapping.
is.
I know Peter is
Peter's our
our,
appointee.
yeah,
I think the capital planning committee understands right now the need.
Okay.
At least they'll fund the studies for that to get done. And the price estimates we have for next year's FY '27.
Yeah.
We have for FY '28 before we break ground.
okay, so you think that we're in a good place?
I do.
Okay, so
With
you
that
let
one
us know
project, I
if
do.
we need to get people to go and,
I will.
because we will.
I will. Hopefully, we're going to get another shot at another bite at the apple with
Yep.
capital planning. So it would be very helpful to have you there.
Yeah, we can post it, we can all go and sit there and,
It's not that I want to be.
No, I think it is important to go.
I just want them to know how important it is to us, and that it's, even as parents, right? I mean, even as,
it's good for parents to also write letters, capital planning.
To capital planning.
Email is on the town website, and you can write letters.
I mean, I know Peter's a great advocate, I just want to make sure that we're, doing what we can.
Yeah, because this is important.
Would Turkey Hill encompass a playground as well as part of our goal, or are we only talking about the building? Like, would it be anything?
That's so far down if, whatever we do, there will be a playground involved.
Yeah,
But that's,
just wondering if it's,
If you
Part of the-
do a rebuild, that's part of the FF&E
Yeah,
pieces,
okay.
so it will be included. Furniture, fixtures, equipment.
so we didn't have Kids Kingdom, we didn't have Kids Kingdom on our agenda, and they're voting on it at town meeting.
Yes.
Sounds great. Okay. Any other goals besides those four?
I think
We don't want
four,
to push ourselves too hard.
four is a lot.
Four is pretty ambitious.
And they're for multi-year goals. Yeah. Like, I might add the turf field onto that.
Yes.
But they're all multi-year goals that you're looking at too. Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna accomplish phases of them, this year. I just don't want you to think,
Oh, yeah, we're not going to get,
that you are gonna accomplish all of this. But we will get through the first stage.
Yeah, like a achievable goal for this year would be to get Kids Kingdom study and the driveway study.
you mean the primary?
The primary school study funded somehow.
All right, so now we have 5 goals.
But I feel like you could
was
put
the
the turf
fifth?
field under
the turf.
comprehensive facilities plan, or you could stick it with the playground.
All right, I'm gonna send this to Liz.
I would put the turf field with Kids King, with the primary school playground as capital planning goals for the year. Because both of those are,
On the top of their list, too.
yes, but both of those are multi-year goals, which affect quite a few people in town.
All right, do we have any other discussion on school committee goals now that we have gone way far afield? All right, then let's go on, and I know that we normally skip these because they're laborious and time consuming, but what about, do we have any reports from the committees?
I do.
All right, everyone.
I'm sorry, can I jump in?
Sure.
Public comment is next, and we
Oh.
have someone that has their hand.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do public comment. Sorry.
Thank you, Liz, always
Thank you.
looking out for people.
Mr. Bowen has his hand raised.
All right. John, if you want to identify yourself?
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? John Bowen, 162 Highland Street. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. So I'm actually here in my official capacity as chairman of the Trust Fund Commission. I do have voted authority to be able to conduct an investigation into trust funds in town. So I did meet with Mr. Scalambrini this Sunday, which was excellent, and Mr. Scalambrini touched on some of those views. I just wanted to clarify with the school committee and with you, Ms. Fortuna, that pursuant to section 47 of chapter 41, the Board of Commissioners, as consistent, our powers and duties are specific as far as is consistent with the terms of trusts that are managed, okay, by us and controlled by us. And that money is distributed in that income that is involved in that in accordance with the terms of the respective trust. So, Mr. Scalambrini brought up the library. Library is completely separate. They have their own trust commission as part of the library, and there is case law out of Worcester that went through the Supreme Judicial Court that determines that they are responsible for their money. The Cemetery Commission is responsible for their money when it comes to trusts. The school department, on the other hand, and then obviously there's the Conservation Commission as well. So they're responsible for their trusts, okay? Accordingly, when this trust funds board was created and ratified in 1946, it was for management of all trust funds given or bequeathed for the benefit of the town or the inhabitants, unless the donor themselves specifically makes the gift or bequest otherwise provided to be handled or managed by somebody else. When it comes to the scholarships that your board has control of, your board doesn't have any control of that. The treasurer does. The town attorney does not manage the school district, so therefore he doesn't manage anything that has to do with our inquiry. Our inquiry is based on statute. The statute that it bases our inquiry stems from the Acts of 1986. In the Acts of 1986, the town ratified what they call Chapter 60, Section 3C. It was further amended in 2016. So this isn't old. I don't want anybody to think it was old. I heard that mentioned earlier, okay? That in the absence of a scholarship committee, which only handles scholarships that are given through like a checkbox on a tax bill, or a DESI grant or a federal grant. Those are the only things that a scholarship committee handles. Anything else that's given to the town, even if it says given to the school, it is town property. And that means it's a gift to the town. And that declaration is a determination of what that donor specifically requests. Now, in that, Jeff Dion sent me an email today, and he showed me about 51 different types of awards and scholarships and so forth that get handed out by the town. What we're asking for from you, Ms. Fortuna, okay, is every declaration that you have for every trust needs to be in the treasurer's office. It's not, okay? Because if it was, I would be able to get a hold of that from Mylene and be able to review that with our board. But we haven't been able to see those. So part of our inquiry is to look at all trusts in town that are gifts okay, that would mean that the review of all trusts that you have in your possession as to how those trusts get meted out appropriately, which ones belong to a school committee, which ones are appropriated by a school committee, and which ones are appropriated by a scholarship committee or education fund committee, which you'll see in Chapter 63C, that the education fund committee and scholarship committee are clearly defined in that particular law. So that being said, I just want to make clear that, you know, what we're interested to see is we're interested to see every single gift that the school has and the declarations that are attached to that gift, because we have a duty to make sure that the declarations are being met and that the scholarships are being granted accordingly. Now, there are some scholarships that are bequests. Obviously, the folks are deceased. Some are very old. Some are very new. Some have to do with people who are alive and living and present. But these are all gifts to the town. And in that, a trust is not just, it says trust. A trust is anything given. So therefore, anything given that's held in a separate account, like your scholarships, need to come under our review for us to be able to determine who handles what particular trust and scholarship in town. And that's the investigation that I have been given permission by the board to be able to conduct, and that's what we're doing. So, Ms. Fortuna, I'm asking you publicly, okay, to be sure that you get to the Trust Fund Commission those declarations so that we can review and make determinations with the treasurer, okay, whether these are gifts and the specific donor's requests are being honored, which by statute, the donor takes precedent. The other thing is, as Mr. Scalabrini mentioned, filing administrative side prey on some of these older ones to be able to make them come up with modern time. Other than that, that's basically why I put my hand up. I wasn't really going to say anything, but I just wanted to give some clarification on what we're doing. We're trying to make sure that the donor's intent and the money is being utilized in the appropriate fashion that it's supposed to. And according to that act, which ratified Chapter 194 of Mass General Laws in 1986, you are required by statute to have a bona fide scholarship committee or an educational fund committee.
Which we do.
And that's highlighted in Chapter 60, Section 3C. I just wanted to clarify all that, that's all. And I really appreciate you giving me the time, Mr. Chairman, to be able to speak on it.
Mr. Bowen, I will
Yeah.
comply with your request after I check and verify with our legal counsel. Not that
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't trust
absolutely.
what you're saying,
Sure,
but I
no,
want to
no, that's fine.
verify, and then I will ask my full school committee to have an action item and take a vote on doing this, so that it is the school committee that is directing me to do this, not the trust commission.
If we could loop in the town.
Yes, well, I mean, that's, you know, that's your prerogative to do that. And I was hoping that you would say that you would speak with your attorney, because it would be your attorney who would advise you of all the statutes that I advised you of, that these declarations belong with the treasurer, that the money and gifts belong to the town, not separate, because the school district is not separate from the town. And I'm sure he'll clarify that with you. And I hope that the school committee will understand from, hopefully, that your attorney will give you that information and clarify that information so that we can get this moving and move in the right direction, because the town has not handled their trust funds for over 50 years properly. Thank you, Mr. Scalabrini.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other hands raised online? Anybody in person? All right. Okay. Let's go to reports from subcommittees. Emily.
Yep, I just have two quick ones. The Paxel group met on October 2nd. As this was the support version of that group, and then we have a meeting coming up on 11/6, this Thursday at 6 at the high school and on Zoom. The goal of this group right now is to currently grow the group and get more parents involved. They were part of the LBA trunk or treat on 1025 at the high school, and it was a big success, and they got to connect with a lot of new parents there. You can always check for updates on their Facebook page. That's the Parents Advisory Council supporting all learners. And then the Master Planning Steering Committee has been meeting and had a pretty successful public info session and presentation on October 22nd at Smokestack Roasters in Lunenburg. There was a lot of community collaboration and good conversation and feedback received. Their next meeting is on 11/12 at 6 o'clock, and the place is to be determined. We're in preparation mode for special town meeting to present the master plan.
That's very exciting. Thank you for all your work on the master plan. And you were on it before you joined this committee, so this is a multi-year effort for you.
Multi-committee.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any reports from subcommittees?
I'll just report out, I didn't get to go to the PTO meeting on Monday, but I know that we are working on finalizing details for a few events. We're having a movie event. I think it's the SpongeBob movie in December,
These are very popular.
which is very popular. We're also in, we have finalized the date for our special Someone Dance, which is very popular. That will be, I think it's the 7th of February.
No longer the legal guardian dance, as I had called it multiple times.
You called it the legal guardian dance?
Yeah, he would call it
You don't have to be a legal guardian, you can just be a special someone. That's the 7th. For those who are new to the district, we do a 3 to 5 for 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. for the younger kids, kindergarten through second grade, and then we do a 6 to 8 for the older kids. You can go to either or, but it's sort of geared towards each of those grades.
It used to be called the father-daughter.
It was
dance.
used to be called the father-daughter dance, but
No,
now we call it the special someone dance.
And the kids really love it.
Yeah, it's usually a really great event. And then lastly, we have a night at Great Wolf. If you want to go to Great Wolf at a really good deal, we have a night, there is a PD day in March, and I forget what day it is. I think it's the 19th.
It's that week, yeah.
It's that week. So we got a really great rate at Great Wolf. It's like $125 a night, for which, if you know, that's pretty cheap. You get 5 tickets to the water park, and it's the 20th, and the PTO is getting a portion of those proceeds, so.
It's a really good deal, too.
It is a really good deal if you're interested in Great Wolf.
And there'll be a bunch of Lunenburg kids there.
Yeah, and there'll be a bunch of your kids' friends there.
I think that's a really cool fundraiser.
And you may not have to go in the water, that's my goal. I could just sit and watch.
Tickled by the chlorine.
Yes, exactly, so.
Is that?
That's all.
Okay. The middle school advisory committee has met twice. We talked about MCAS scores, and again, wanted to highlight those 8th grade civics scores, which were 20 points higher than the rest of the state, and just very impressive. And parent-teacher conferences at the middle school passed, and the 8th grade trip is on, thanks to Jen Rio, who stepped up.
Excellent.
Amy Resnick had been planning that for years and doing a great job, so she is getting Jen Rio up to speed on how to do it, and it looks like it's going to cost about $1,400. LEAF has met, the Lunenburg Education Accelerator Foundation, and they've got nonprofit status, and they are getting ready for a grant cycle this year. So we will, I think, get on the agenda for next meeting if we can, and do a very quick presentation about that, and then we will need to communicate with teachers about the grant cycle. I've been meeting, the Municipal Building Design Committee has been meeting like every other week, if not more, and that's, Tony's dad is on that.
I'm sorry.
More opinionated than you, and I didn't know that was
Is he bossier
possible.
than me?
Well, yeah,
He's also on master planning.
yeah. He,
A family of leaders.
yeah. So, Mr. Schoenbreen, the elder, but, so that's been meeting a lot. We talked about needs versus wants and which direction to go in. I briefly asked if it was possible to lift the building. So we met with Dr. Fortuna and talked about, that was a September meeting, and talked about the needs of the superintendent, and it looks like we're moving in a direction now where the school department is not going to be in future town hall plans, which is why we're going to need to consider district offices. This has been an ongoing, I think the first committee met in 2019, and it's sort of been an ongoing, very evolving process. And originally, it was about reusing the Passios building, and the superintendent and district offices were in the Passios building, so it got rolled into the project. However, they're very different space needs. And town hall, there are a lot of departments which need to be together. So it seems like it's going to be easier and cheaper if we leave the schools out of it, which I think means we can design district offices that work better for us as well. We also got to tour the Brooks House, which was, it's huge. It sits vacant right now. We're not using it. It's big. It needs a lot of work. It is in surprisingly better condition than I thought, based on how long it has sat vacant, and I saw the biggest spider web I have ever seen. And I didn't scream. What else? This was, there's like so many notes. Okay. Hold on. And then more municipal design, and then met again with the, and then there was a wellness meeting, but I did not make it because it was scheduled at the exact same time as the school advisory committee. So, and I went to the other one, I went to the capital planning meeting where we did present. We're going to present again. So that is in process and happening, and we presented the projects, and we're gonna have some updated quotes and go back with the updated quotes and talk about our priorities, so that's where we are.
Laura and I also attend the NERD committee, which is policy subcommittee.
I'm learning so much legalese.
Blah.
I hate it.
Yeah, so we've done one of those meetings. I think we're gonna do another one relatively soon. In that one, we produced the cashless policy and the second or third iteration of the advertising policy. I also attended a meeting of the high school advisory council on the 30th of October. Mr. Santry presented about the MCAS scores and school accountability numbers. Unsurprisingly, the slump in performance in the 10th grade year was a hot topic, and apparently he indicated that there was some research being done to try to confirm our suspicion that it's.
And the state is doing some research into that because everybody's scores slumped.
There was something weird about the test.
It's because it's no longer a graduation requirement.
Yeah.
And the 10th graders were.
They're
Well
done.
aware.
in it
I
to
don't think
know.
it's just that, because other scores,
So the other thing that we talked about was the budget process, and Mr. Santry gave us a little sneak peek at what the superintendent's plan is in terms of having a budget book instead of 94 slides that hyperlinked to 128 slides. He talked about the changes to PD Day, specifically the revision of the Alice drill policies and doing some of that work outside the presence of children. Apparently, the studies have shown that it does not increase effectiveness and it decreases trauma to see fake bad guys in the school bleeding or whatever. So they did a lot of work with just the teachers. There was a discussion on feedback of the core value survey that we talked about last time. And then we talked about homecoming, and that was it. I think we are done, because we already done topics for future discussion. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn, unless there's any other comments or question.
public comment from the board.
Oh, sure, does anybody on the board has public comment? Go for it. All right,
Motion to adjourn?
second?
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Waiting for one of us.
I thought you were seconding. You sounded so confident.
I know, you